Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, great. How are you?
Good. You know, it's kind of weird because we are kidless right now. Our son moved, so he doesn't live with us anymore, and our daughter is staying with a friend for a couple days. So it's kind of like we're sitting around the house looking at each other like, so this is what it's going to be like in a couple of years, huh?
This kind of blows.
I can hear you breathe. This is awful. Anyway.
And then every 2 seconds, want to go to the casino? We're already turning into those people.
I think we're 90. Got a guest coming up later in the program, Carson Ulrich. I'm excited to visit with him. There's a show coming out on National Geographic channel called Missing Dial. If you've seen the previews for this or if you've seen this program, it's a fascinating program about this adventurer that went missing. And Carson Ulrich is one of the people that's looking. He's on the trail, finding out what happened, and it's fascinating. I'm excited to chat with him. Ozzy Osbourne loves British cereal so much that every month he has a case of Sugar Puffs shipped to his home in L.A. Did you know that?
We've read that. Yeah, that's weird.
Did we really?
A long time ago, but yeah, I
don't
remember that fact.
According to a new survey, bullies are taking full advantage of the latest technology. 16% of young people say they have received a bullying message on their phone or computer. 16%. That is terrible. Don't do that. Leave kids alone. Coming up here in a bit, we have some special things happening. We'll tell you all about that in a while.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, June the 8th. So today is Oopsie Daisy Day. When you were a kid, did you ever hear that? Oopsie Daisy.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
Means oops.
Oopsie Daisy. Well, today's Oopsie Daisy Day, so if you made a mistake, today's the day to do it, I guess. It's also World Oceans Day. Those are the two.
I like oceans. I
You know,
think we should go to the ocean.
There's some days that have so many things we don't have time to fit it in. We try to do this break like in a minute. There's some days I can't fit it all in a minute, and there's days like today where
There's nothing going on.
I got it in 10 seconds, so what do we do for the next few seconds here? But I guess we could come up with ways we could celebrate World's Ocean Day and Upsy Daisy Day. Or I could tell you that coming up, we've got some fun stories. Later in the program, going to be chatting with Carson Ulrich, the program Missing Dial from the National Geographic channel. He's on that, and it's about the missing adventurer, Cody Dial. So we'll be chatting about that in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Customer no service instead of customer service. Good customer service is hard to find these days. Just ask Niley Soley. A London man noticed a pipe had burst in his garden, so he called the water company. Unable to get a real person on the phone, he did what he was told to do by pushing all the different buttons and then leaving a voicemail. Hang on, someone will be right with you. 4 hours and 40 minutes later, he finally talked to a human. By that time, 5,000 gallons of water had filled his home and flooded his yard.
Gosh.
Yeah, he had a leak in his garden. 4 hours and 40 minutes later.
There are so many companies like that. There are companies I call that I literally just have to put the phone on speaker and set it down and go about what I'm doing because I'm on there for hours and hours and hours.
I remember doing that one time, and you came in the room and you were laughing at me because I had my phone on speaker. I was trying to get, I don't remember what I was even trying to get. It was customer service from somebody. And after, it was about 2.5 hours, I finally just hung it up.
Yeah. I know who it was that I was trying to call. I'm not even going to say, but it was an airline.
Oh,
and it was hours
before
somebody finally picked up.
The thing that makes no sense to me, now, I wonder, in this particular case where Mr. Soley reached out and said, hey, I called 5,000 gallons of water all over, do you think he had to pay for that water, or do you think they would? They should be able to see, well, yeah, he was on hold for almost 5 hours.
Well, and most likely not, because if it burst outside of his home, it's not going through his personal water meter. If it was a pipe out in his yard.
But if it was like his sprinkler, here's my thing. If it was his sprinkler system
It wasn't a sprinkler. It was a pipe.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, however it was, he couldn't turn it off,
And if
I
it
suppose.
was just his sprinkler system, he could have turned off his sprinkler system.
Yeah.
So it was a busted pipe out in his yard, which means
know.
it wasn't going through his
Well,
meter.
5,000 gallons of water later, and I guess they probably know the answer, but we don't. You do know this. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Imagine getting pulled over going this fast. 3. Yeah, 3. Thompson Township, Ohio man was drunk, and he was trying to run down 2 law enforcement officers while driving a 10-ton bulldozer 3 miles an hour. William Armstrong refused to stop his Caterpillar excavator as he rumbled towards 2 law enforcement vehicles.
Oh man, I don't know how he thought that was going to
Don't
end.
know. Officers eventually persuaded Armstrong to stop, and they gave the vehicle that he was driving, he stopped it, they gave him a breathalyzer test. His blood alcohol level was 0.244, more than 3 times the legal limit. So, did you even need to hear the rest of the story to know he was drunk?
And I didn't need to know the rest of the story to know that he got himself arrested.
Yeah. 3 miles an hour is how fast he was going, but he got pulled over for drunk driving in a 10-ton bulldozer. Yeah, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Today apparently is a day to talk about silly people doing silly things and water bills, because we talked about a guy who had sprung a leak in his garden, 5,000 gallons of water everywhere. Listen to this one. A trip to pay the water bill turns into a terrible moment of duh. While her mother went to pay a water bill, 15-year-old Alexandria Moore of Lithuania, Georgia, decided to move her car. She moved it all right, and she hit the curb and another vehicle, slammed into a Lexus, which then slammed into another car. Apparently wanting to undo her experience, she put it in reverse, smashed into a pole, backed that into an SUV, and hit another car. 2 of the 6 cars needed to be towed away. That's how much damage there was. The 15-year-old was charged with reckless driving. Mom was just trying to pay a water bill.
Wow.
Young lady, again, 15-year-old Alexandria Moore, thought, oh, while Mom's inside, I'm going to just move the car. Well, don't do that. That's a bad idea. That sounds like one colossal accident right there. Coming up in a moment, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way. And don't forget, we've got an interview with Carson Ulrich with the TV program Missing Dial from the National Geographic Channel. That is also on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. So, what do men obsess about the most? A British survey of men says they are just as body obsessed as women. Remember when a man's middle-aged gut was a symbol of manliness? Not anymore. 1/3 of men said they hated their fat tummies. 25% had issues with their entire body. So that's the British survey. So,
I think that's just typical of human beings in general.
I look at it and say, this is who I am. I know not everybody's going to be attracted to that.
Don't.
No, I'd like to lose some weight, but I'm not obsessed about it.
No,
it's not like I sit
obsessed,
around
but
and
when you
fret.
look at yourself, it's not like you think, oh, hey, that's one a hunk of man
Well,
right
every once in a
there.
while I catch a glimpse and I'm like, hey, who's this sexy man coming for my wife? Oh, wait, that's just me. No, I've never really done that. Hey, a man in China ended his relationship because his girlfriend's stringent control of his eating habits and lifestyle drove him to the edge. Among other things, the girlfriend made the man chew his mouth full of food 32 times before swallowing.
She counted?
Apparently she counted.
Wow.
It was only 30.
It is good for you to
I
do
understand
that,
that.
but I'm not going to sit there and make sure that you're actually...
Thank you. Because
Yeah.
that might be the beginning of the end. I'm just saying. Hey, according to a recent study, according to a recent study, more and more Americans are preferring to attend mega churches. So they're saying more and more people go, or maybe I should say not go, because I just read another story about that said people who attend mega churches often only go once or twice a month.
Yeah, you
So they
just can't
skip a few
tell because
weeks.
there's so many. Maybe
Well,
that's
and
why
that's
they
the
like
thing.
it, because there's so many people
like,
and nobody
hey,
notices if you're missing.
Where do you guys go? We go there when we feel like it. Go ahead and see if you can spot us in the crowd. Next time your spouse hides out in front of the TV instead of helping with chores, you might want to share this with him or her. Researchers from the University of Missouri, Brigham Young University, Utah State University all work together to find that married couples are happier if they share household responsibilities. Researchers surveyed 160 couples married for an average of 5 years with at least one child under the age of 5, and they found that those who share in household chores are the happiest. We share in household chores. I dirty the dishes. She cleans
we share equally.
I dirty the laundry. You
take dishes into the kitchen. I bring out of the kitchen. I bring them back into the kitchen.
I do help with some things, and I take out the garbage almost all the time. So I got that.
You put bacon grease all over the walls and the ceiling and the
I didn't mean to.
countertops and the stove, and I clean it up.
I just like to cook on high. That's all. Hey, newly revealed video has surfaced showing a man urinating on a product assembly line at a Kellogg's manufacturing facility in Memphis.
Yay.
The video
That's
just came
fantastic.
to light. The incident happened, though, even though the video's new, this happened in 2014. So whatever it was,
has already been consumed.
Too late.
I wonder if he did that on like a line of Rice Krispies so you could see if they would still snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, I don't know. Is that even a Kellogg's product?
I think it is. Isn't it Kellogg's Rice Krispies? Is
All I know
what
is I'm on a new diet where I do not eat any cereal.
If you got a box of Rice Krispies that didn't snap, crackle, and pop, you know what happened to your
Snap,
cereal.
Crackle, pop, and pee, apparently. All right. School-age children whose mothers tightly control their diets may be prone to overeating when they grow up. While those moms who pressure them to eat tend to be fussy about food, a study finds. A number of studies have found that when parents strictly control their children's diets, either denying all unhealthy fare or pressuring them to expand their menu choices, kids are more likely to have less than ideal eating habits. So saying, moms, be careful. You're going to make a big difference in that kid's future. And one last story about school-aged children whose mothers... Did I just read that? That's the one I just read. Oh, I scrolled down and I scrolled up instead of scrolling down. This is the last story then. Remember when Mom would say, dry your hair before you go, you're going to catch cold?
Yes.
Mom was wrong. Just
Mama's wrong again.
Wrong again, Mama. Just because you left your house with wet hair doesn't mean you're going to get sick. The common cold and flu are caused by viruses, not by exposure to cold or by going out with wet hair. So sadly, Mama was wrong again. And I'll tell you, there are times that I've caught cold and I blamed it on being out in the cold, and my wife over here has corrected me. She's like, no, it's not even how it works. I'm like, I
sleep with the window open. He's like, you gave me a cold.
I'm so sick.
Whatever.
It's all your fault. And you're like, it has nothing to do with that. I'm like, it has to be that. What else would it be? Okay. All right. That is your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us right now. We have Carson Ulrich from the National Geographic channel's Missing Dial, and we've got him on the line right now. Carson, how are you?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
Very good. The 6-part series Missing Dial has been on Sundays, and we've got another episode coming up this weekend. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the idea for this program. Where did the idea come from?
A production company contacted Roman Dial, who's the father of Cody Dial that went missing in the jungle. And Roman Dial is, within the adventure race community, is somewhat of a royalty figure with respect to the Eco Challenge or the Alaska Wilderness Survival Race. And when his son went missing, Men's Journal magazine did an article on it, and it was heart-wrenching. And the production company contacted him because he had been searching for his son for almost a year and offered to provide assistance. And in doing so, obviously, they were going to film it. And this was unique in that a lot of crime shows typically come in either from a scripted perspective or after the fact, and they do reenactments. Everything that they intended to do was to film it from Jump Street.
So this is a whole lot different than anything else that's ever really been done before.
It is. And I have to applaud the National Geographic Channel for doing it because they're undertaking risk. It could turn out like a Bigfoot hunt. And they specifically did not try to target let's say, reality show personalities. They wanted to get competent investigators that weren't hacks and that could actually accomplish results. So there was a lot of pressure on us because there was no evidence, no witnesses. He simply vanished. And I said to my partner, upon undertaking the experience, I think we have, less than a 5% chance of succeeding here. The odds were daunting, but we were going to put in the effort and roll our sleeves up, and from the very first day, they began to film us.
And now, again, we're visiting with Carson Ulrich right now, a former DEA special agent, and you've got quite an impressive resume when it comes to this, but have you ever done anything involving television before?
No. I was actually an active special agent in the DEA when my partner, who I know, Ken Fournier, he's a former Air Force PJ. He knew Roman personally, and he contacted me and said, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And when I was interviewed, I don't believe any of the production people or National Geographic had the idea of a DEA agent, as an example, because they're thinking he's lost in the jungle and they need to go searching. And my experience as a criminal investigator, much of it working in overseas and in Central and South America, is that you need to conduct an investigation as well. You need to penetrate the environment and begin to pull information from the community.
So while you guys were working on this, how different was it for you to have cameras following you around? Because I'm assuming that's got to make things a little more interesting for you, doesn't it?
It does. I went from an environment as a government employee, as a public servant. And I'm a true believer. And so I always had a career where I resented the bureaucracy. I resented this indifference. And we really wanted to help these people. So, but the production aspect was an anchor around your neck. When you're trying to conduct clandestine operations, we recruit informants. If we're through episode 3, we recruit our first informant, and we uncover something that's very sinister. I mean, the recordings that we were able to glean from these people indicate we're tracking down a murderer. And so if you've missed any of the first episodes, I would invite you to go and do the National Geographic Channel's website, and you can watch episode 1 through 3 and catch up, because the next 3 episodes are even better. And it's going to take you on a roller coaster ride into a dark tunnel. And what we uncover, which is extremely sinister, we're going to pursue all the way through it. And
again, it's a 6-part series called Missing Dial, and it's a true story. Of course, it's being played out before your very eyes, but it's about an explorer that went missing, Cody Dial. And now, when was it that he went missing? The adventurer Cody Dial.
He went missing in August of 2014. So when we started looking for him, it had been near the year anniversary of him being gone.
Well, it's fascinating to see how this unfolds. I'm excited to see how it ends. Now, is everything completely recorded all the way through episode 6, or are you guys still working on the other episodes?
No, we continue. I mean, this is real life. We recorded over 1,000 hours of footage, and then obviously they edited it down to 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But what is unique is that there was a huge twist in that in episode 1, you see that our arrival, it kind of pushes the embassy, and they reveal that they were holding his backpack for 2 months, and that the OEHOTA, which is the Costa Rican version of the FBI, had it months before that. With the arrival of the show, the first airing of the show, the body turns up, and that changes everything as well. So The 6th episode is being reworked real time to bring the audience up to date. These are real people. It's a real man who went missing and was never actually recovered alive. And we believe we're looking at foul play, and so we tackle it head on.
And this is kind of where, CSI and all the crime shows that you watch on TV meets real life, and it all comes together in something that's never really been done before. It's on the National Geographic Channel. Again, our guest today is Carson Ulrich, and he is with the National Geographic Channel's program Missing Dial, and it's a 6-part series. We're about halfway through it. You said I can watch the first 3 online right now?
Yes, at the National Geographic Channel, their online channel, they'll have a page for Missing Dial. They'll have teaser videos, and then they'll have the full first 3 episodes they can watch in their entirety.
It is a 6-part series. Missing Dial airs Sundays through June 26th at 10/9 Central on the National Geographic Channel. Carson, thank you for taking your time to talk with us, but thank you even more for taking the time to go on this I think it's a very important mission. This may be the most important mission of your life, you've been on a lot of things in the job that you do, but with this one, all eyes are on you. So that's got to make it a little bit more interesting for you.
It is. It was a very rewarding experience, and I would put this in the perspective of your listeners' ears. This is just one man.
Yeah.
2013, 850 people went missing just in Costa Rica.
Wow.
There are a number of hundreds of families who lose a loved one overseas, and it is a very frustrating and almost impossible obstacle to overcome to find out what happened to them. So we try to bring closure to one family. Imagine how many more don't have the same resources trying to assist them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, again, thank you, Carson, for all that you're doing, and it's been interesting to watch this unfold, and I'm looking forward to the next 3. It's a 6-part series, folks. Missing Dial airs Sundays through June 26th at 10/9 Central on the National Geographic Channel. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
John Adams was the first president to display fireworks at the White House.
I see.
Yeah. George Washington didn't. I don't think he actually lived at the White House. I think that's why. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Even though Dr. Seuss wrote a bunch of books for children, did you know that he never had any children?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
To me, that's kind of a little creepy.
What? That he... What do you mean?
I don't know.
That Dr. Seuss didn't have kids?
That he didn't have kids, but he was catering to kids. I don't know. It's a little creepy.
I think that he had some really great books, so I don't think that's creepy at all. Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Kermit the Frog was named after a guy by the name of Kermit Scott. It's a childhood friend of creator Jim Henson.
I love Kermit the Frog.
I know you do. I think that's kind of creepy. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The true identity of Batman's archenemy, the Penguin, is Oswald Cobblepot.
I did know that.
You did know that? I did not know that. Couple of fun facts for you right there on a Wednesday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Are you into selfies at all? We're not really selfie people.
Not really. No.
We've done them. We've gone to like concerts and stuff where we'll take a selfie. Like, hey, we're here at a concert. But we don't really. That's not our thing. That's not my thing.
Our daughter.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, Sugar Land, Texas has become the center of scrutiny over a new statue erected in front of the city's town hall featuring 2 smiling women as one of them snaps a selfie with a phone. Outrage grew over the statue, and many people were upset because they consider it a huge, gigantic waste of taxpayer dough. But the statue was actually donated by a town resident.
Okay, so then relax.
That's the thing.
It's
They're
none
saying,
of your business.
It's on public property, but it was donated. Somebody thought that was a cute statue.
It's not obscene, and it's not vulgar. I saw a picture of the statue. It's actually quite adorable.
If you'd like to see it, I'll throw a copy. I already did, actually, at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I always say I'm going to do it, but I've already always done it. So I put it there.
There are many more things to be upset about.
Yeah,
so.
don't get upset. But here's the thing that I wonder. Because this is a statue of a couple of young ladies, and the one has a phone out doing the selfie thing. I wonder, first of all, if a lot of people are going to get their selfie taken with this selfie.
Of course.
You think you'll get your photo? So if that were the case, they don't really need her holding her hand out because you're going to have to do that with your real phone. So isn't that going to be kind of weird?
It's just a statue. You're overthinking it. It's ridiculous.
And I wonder what kind of phone it is.
John.
Do you think it's an iPhone or is it a Samsung or something?
It doesn't matter.
Well, coming up, we're going to talk about a phone. For those of you looking for a new smartphone, I got a smartphone for you. I don't know if you can afford it, at $14,000. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm going to tell you all about that coming up here in a bit. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. I mentioned this a little bit ago, but the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge is about $800. That's a pretty good phone. It's a nice phone. It's got the glass down the edge. Well, there's a new Solarin Android smartphone for $14,000. The team behind the Solarin said it's a phone designed for international business people who want to keep sensitive information private. According to the company's press release, the phone uses the same communication encryption technology as the military. So this is a pretty high-tech phone, and there's definitely a Hillary Clinton joke in there somewhere, but I'll let you guys just do that on your own. So, yeah, this is a high-tech phone where you can, send and receive information, and it will be the same communication encryption technology that's used in the military, but the phone is $14,000. So that's a lot of dough.
Yeah, no thanks.
Can you imagine how upset you would be if you spent $14,000 on your phone and then you broke your phone? You definitely would want to get the insurance on that one. I remember buying a phone.
For that much, I'd better be able to talk to the military. I'd better be able to ring up and say, hey, why don't you give me the real scoop on Benghazi, because I'm hearing all kinds of crap on this end.
Yeah, I just think $14,000, that's a lot for a phone. I remember getting a phone and about 2 hours later breaking said phone. That was bad. And then I went back and they said, did you want insurance on this one? I was like, no, I don't. I still don't want it. So there you go. Again, it's called if you want to get one of these, it is called the Solarin Android smartphone. Just $14,000.
John and Heidi.
Father's Day is going to be here before you know it. It is on the 19th. I actually had to Google that because I didn't know if it was this weekend or next weekend, but it's next weekend. Turns out there's a big disconnect between what women think men want for Father's Day and what men actually want. You ready for this survey?
I am ready.
60% of women think their man would love a ticket to a sporting event, while only 36% said that's what they wanted. Women also thought their man would love a power tool, maybe not. So what is it that men really want? Believe it or not, they say the top of the list is a new smartphone or tablet.
Oh.
Followed by, my favorite thing, a good home-cooked meal. The majority of men ranked those two as their top choices. Heidi, that's all I need. Good home-cooked meal.
I cook all the time.
I know. So just do that, and I'll be happy for Father's Day. What is it that you would think that I would want for Father's Day? Would you think I want sporting tickets?
No, I know you wouldn't want sporting tickets.
I'd be like, we're going to know what?
I would assume that you would like to have a nice vacation.
Oh, that'd be nice. Let's do that. And we'll have a home-cooked meal when we get home. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know you're important to the life and well-being of your teenager, right?
Yes.
Mothers and fathers can have a profound effect on civil society by helping to mold the next generation into healthy, well-adjusted adults. It says here, mothers' involvement has been shown to influence a broad range of outcomes for adolescents. For example, teens whose parents are present when they wake up and when they come home from school and when they go to bed are less likely to experience emotional distress. And those whose parents are more involved in their lives tend to have a higher level of self-esteem and self-control. Did you know that, Heidi?
I would agree with that.
Teens with greater parental involvement in their schooling are far more likely to graduate from high school and achieve higher levels of education. Finally, mothers' investment in and communication with their children has been shown to have significant impact regarding risky behaviors from sexual behavior to substance abuse. So being a student that is connected with mom, if you're a mama's boy or a mama's girl, that's a good thing because that means that you're not going to be as risky when it comes to doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
There you go.
So I remember reading a story one time talking about a father's relationship with his daughter and how important that was.
Yes.
And after reading that, I said, there's some things that I need to make sure I do. Our daughter, now she's a sophomore in high school coming up this next year. I need to make sure that we have that good relationship because I want her to have a solid foundation to build on. So that's important stuff. That could have almost been our good news for today. But you know what? We have even better news. That is on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think we've got some good news here. It says, studies have long shown that married people with cancer live longer than single people with cancer, but a new study investigates why. Researchers have found that the longevity-producing factor in marriage is neither money nor economic status. That's good news for us.
That is good news.
Otherwise, we'd both die by the end of this show. But the personal and emotional support of the marital union. I think we have that here.
I agree.
We're married, by the way, for those of you who maybe didn't know that.
We're
I think
very supportive
we
of
say
each
that
other.
once in a while. Yeah, we support each other all the time. Like, we're on a diet, and then I'm like, hey, let's go have some fast food. And Heidi's
And
like,
I say,
okay,
no,
let's do that.
no. Here lately, it has been the exact opposite.
I know. I'm like, yeah, we probably should support each other better. No, but we do, I think, for the most part, support each other quite a bit. They analyzed 783,167 cancer patients in this study. The researchers found that the risk of death was 20% greater for unmarried men stricken with cancer than for married men, and 19% higher for unmarried women than married women. I've got a link to this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. So now my question is, if I come down with cancer and I get married, do you think that would change?
No,
I
think you already have to.
So you need to have a loving relationship. I can't just walk out and say, I was
hey,
just
will you
struck
marry
with
me?
cancer.
I want to live longer.
Marry me, nurse. You never know. That could be. Maybe that's how somebody met their significant other. How'd you guys meet? Well, he was diagnosed with cancer, and then he proposed to me right there in the hospital. If that's the way it worked,
And
I guess.
the first thing we did is change his life insurance information.
Oh. You know what? Sadly, that probably
That's
is.
what I'm saying.
That's probably
no,
what-
that doesn't work. You're going to
Yeah.
want to already be married.
Okay, so here's my thing then. Just go get married and find somebody to love first. Because if I didn't love Heidi, I wouldn't be able to be married to her. But I love her dearly. And marriage is a good thing if you find the right person. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com, where the winning is just the beginning. Go there, sign up, see if you can become a winner. It's free to sign up. And again, it's just the beginning, because once you win, or you don't even need to win, once you get signed up, you can, in addition to winning, you can also get some special opportunities for some special things. So check it out, WinThisOnline.com. Here's a story that I was going to share. We talked about this a little bit, but we're going to share it now. A woman from Indiana found herself in need of a medical prescription. Well, she didn't have the money to buy it. So she and her boyfriend thought, hey, let's rob the grocery store and we'll have the money.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, the grocery store, by the way, is right next door to the pharmacy. The men proceeded to, or the two rather, it was a man and a woman, proceeded to go from the robbery directly next door to the pharmacy. She gave her real name, address, and phone number and said, I'll be back to get my prescription later. Well, the police saw where they went. There were witnesses said they left here and they went in there. They went in and talked to her, and the pharmacist and said, oh, yeah, there was a lady that came in with a man, just matching that description. Oh, by the way, here's all of her information. She got a prescription.
Wow.
I think it was for thinking pills. I'm not exactly sure because, I don't know, she didn't take those. Police in hot pursuit of an armed Scottish robber, Derek McFadden. He raced away from a bank near Glasgow with $4,000. Then he made a law-abiding mistake. He stopped for a red light and was arrested immediately.
Nice.
Well, you're on the run from the cops. Why would you stop at a red light? I just robbed a bank. That's the time you go through those lights. A kid in Medford, Oregon, will either learn from his mistake or end up on maybe the world's dumbest criminal list. He used a car jack to try to pry a garage door from his neighbor's empty house. So the door collapsed on him. He was trapped under it. His mother saw his legs sticking out from under the garage door. She called 911 when she couldn't free him. The boy's not hurt, but he faces trespassing charges. You know, I can see where he was going there. He stuck a jack to jack up a car under the garage door thinking, hey, I can pry this thing up high enough and wiggle under there. And then
Remember one time neighbor boy got his head stuck in the garage door?
That happened to us. Our neighbor... it was his legs.
He was not hurt. It was his head.
No, it was his legs, because I said I'm glad it was his legs and not his head. I probably would have killed him.
Oh, I thought it was his head.
No, his sister was with our daughter, and they came in the house, and they closed the garage door because they didn't want him coming in. So the garage door is going down, and he kind of limbo style, like lays down and starts going under it, thinking he'd make it all the way through. Well, it slammed shut right on his legs. Well, his legs are so small. He's a little boy. They're so small that the sensor didn't even notice it. I heard some weird noise. I'm like, what in the world is that noise? So I go walking out in the garage, and I see some feet sticking up in there. And I opened the garage door, and it was our neighbor kid. And I won't even say his name because I don't want the parents to know. I think we told him, I think.
They knew Marissa's the one who found him.
Okay. So anyway, we opened the garage door and let him out. So, and I said, I'm just really glad he didn't try coming in head first, because that would have, closed on his head or his neck or his torso or whatever. I'm going to just get to a strange law and move on. A Texas law requires that a criminal give the expected victim a 24-hour notice stating the crime before being committed. It can be either oral or written. I think we've mentioned that before. This is why we quit doing strange laws, because I kind of ran out of them. I mean, there's a lot of strange laws, but only so many of them are funny. So that's going to do it for your bonus break. Apparently that wasn't one of them. Brought to you by WinThisOnline.com, where the winning is just the beginning. Sign up for free. Win some cool stuff at WinThisOnline.com.